Ooh, welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. I'd break my leg if it meant Chris Harris Jr. didn't have to break his perna. Or I'd switch bodies with him in some sort of Freaky Friday type situation where somehow that meant he was back on the field. As bad as I feel about all of the injuries in today's game, I might feel worse for Bengals fans. This game produced the saddest elf I've ever seen. But finally, a real representation of what it looks like to work in sweatshop-like conditions for Santa Claus. By the third quarter, fans were struggling to stay awake. Are they watching a football game or listening to Bill Belichick read bedtime stories to convicts? And even though we're on to Cincinnati, we still wanted to make sure every elf was doing their job, working 20 hours a day and being docked pay if they make more than one bathroom break. The end. My sympathy for the Bengals fans, though, changed to embarrassment. This is what happens when nobody in your friend group can spot a bad idea. I mean, just look at this woman's face. That's the exact face a normal person makes when this is what's next to them for 3.5 hours. Broncos win an ugly game, 24-10. I'll recap the entire event for all of you football lovers out there.
Let's go Broncos. Yeah, Brandon, we're still in it.
From Chisinau, Moldova, that's good Broncos! Yeah!
I'm excited to announce that today's episode is sponsored by Bombfell.com. That's BOMBFELL.com. What's Bombfell? From head to toe, it's an easier way for men to get nice clothing. Look, if you're like me, you hate shopping for clothes. I hate it almost as much as I hate the Patriots. Almost. Now, Bombfell changed that for me. After completing a simple questionnaire, they had a dedicated stylist pick out my clothes and then sent it to me so I didn't have to leave the house, which I wore on Thanksgiving. A stylist will email you clothing selections, which you can change or cancel altogether for any reason. Then when you get your clothes, you have 7 days to try them on. If you're not satisfied, you send them back for free, and the more clothes you keep, the more money you save. If you keep 2 items, you get 10% off, 3, 15%, 4, 20% off, get more, save more. And the best part is the flexibility at Bombfell.com. You can receive clothes when you want with the option to stop or pause at any time. You are not locked into a monthly program. And Bombfell was cool enough to set up a special discount just for That's Good Sports viewers, that's you, which is a $25 discount off of your first order when you use my link in the description, or go to bombfell.com/that'sgoodsports. Bombfell, open and close. Wordplay. Yes. Now, if I wanted, I could recap the first half of this game in 10 seconds. Bad offense, injury, bad offense, injury, bad officiating, injury, Phillip, Lindsay, touchdown, bad officiating, field goal. Wait, sorry, I forgot one of the injuries. If you're a Broncos fan, all you need to know is Chris Harris broke his leg on an unnecessary play early in this game. The Broncos accepted a penalty to replay a third down where the Bengals would have punted anyway. You can't predict an injury. That's impossible. But giving a team a chance to convert a third down instead of just letting them make that decision on fourth down to punt or maybe take a really, really long field goal chance with a below average kicker is a stupid coaching decision. And because of it, you lost the only guy who has played well in the secondary this season. Now, Vance can't really be blamed for the injury. That's not what I'm saying, but I blame Vance for the injury. Same way I blame him for the high real estate prices in Denver. And for all of you who were brought to tears by the end of the Adam Pac-Man Jones era, well, I hope you saved those tears in a jar so you could see all of the emotion you wasted when the most beloved player in NFL history is re-signed by the Broncos this week because of the Chris Harris injury. There really was nothing positive to discuss from the first 28 minutes of this football game, outside maybe this nice sack by Shelby Harris, or this tag team sack by Shelby Harris and Von Miller, although I think Harris was credited with 2 full sacks. Yes, I see the opportunity for the joke there. Now, do I go sexual, or maybe continue and make it about Santa and his presents? Now, one thing I do know for sure this NFL season is that instead of expecting 2 really bad calls by the officials every game, you should expect 6. 3 against each team. Every week, I could spend 5 minutes an episode explaining why the refs were horribly wrong with their stupid-ass penalties. And Chris Harris Jr. was injured because the referees called this weak-ass, soft, illegal block in the back on the Bengals, which then forced the defense to play an extra play. Then, the only reason the Bengals were really able to get all the way down the field so quickly in less than 2 minutes before halftime to kick a field goal was because the officials confused the Bengals' left tackle shoulder for his face. Von Miller flagged for illegal hands to the face here. My iPhone has better facial recognition than today's officiating crew. This isn't dandruff shampoo. You can't lump the head and shoulders into the same fucking category. I really feel sorry for that ref's wife. If he can't differentiate between a shoulder and a human head, there's no way he's ever found the clit. Oh yeah, does that feel good, baby? Yeah. No, that's my elbow, idiot. Then again, more shoulder-head confusion. Isaac Yiadom was flagged for leading with his head. Again, it's a good clean hit with his shoulder to the chest of the Bengal. That one we will call a wash though, because the Bengals sort of got screwed for a good hit on Emmanuel Sanders later that looked brutal at full speed. Keenum couldn't get the ball to wide receiver Courtland Sutton, and then when he did, Sutton dropped it by stupidly letting the ball hit his hands, a trick he learned from Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd. It's like Courtland, just because you see your friends dressing like an idiot doesn't mean you have to too. Brandon McManus missed another 50-yard field goal attempt, mostly because of the Cincinnati wind, and the Bengals were surprisingly unable to convert a 3rd and 39. So close, Cincinnati. Good effort. Just 36 yards short of getting the first down there. The offensive drought finally ended with Devontae Booker sparking the Broncos offense like a blunt at a joint, no pun intended, Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, and Seth Rogen holiday party. Why are all of the biggest potheads dudes? And where did this ankle-breaking spin move come from, Devontae? Where have you been hiding that? I know this is only a 2 to 3 yard touchdown run, but Phillip Lindsay's patience, his vision here can only be fully respected by people who really know the game of football, which is none of the officials from this game. To me, this is more impressive than a leaping dive over the pile or a bulldozing run across the goal line. It's such a savvy move by Lindsay to patiently wait for that hole to open up. And that's when you know it's true love, when he's willing to wait however long for the hole to open. Love. Broncos, Bengals enter halftime 7-3. Today's halftime report is brought to you by Pure Joy. Pure joy is what Broncos fans feel when they see Raiders and Chiefs fighting like idiots on the sideline. Pure joy. It's free as fuck, but more rare than a Tom Brady pass that goes further than 5 yards down the field. The only other thing that can bring you pure joy is seeing Phillip Lindsay lookalikes in the crowd. Stunning. Which guy is which? Which one's the real Phillip Lindsay? Oh my god, this is adorable. Pure joy. Catch it when you can. Coming out of the half, the Broncos finally caught a break that wasn't the bones of one of their players, when Alex Erickson muffed this rather short punt by Wadmania, giving the Broncos the ball back with excellent field position. Case Keenum was on target here, connecting on a big dick 30-yard strike to the Broncos end zone for a Broncos touchdown. Great throw, great contested catch by Courtland Sutton. Those are the plays he has to make as a starting receiver in the NFL. And this was not an impressive game for Case Keenum by any means, but 2 big plays were Keenum fielding bad snaps and then getting the ball out to a receiver and making a play when he needed to. I think he had 150 passing yards and a touchdown. Basically what we're learning is a Case Keenum game. Also included an injury. Then Jeff Driskel, under pressure, throws a terrible deep ball for Justin Simmons to snatch out of the air like it was a chain around Michael Crabtree's neck. Okay, yeah, I need I need to retire that reference. Continuing where he left off, Courtland Sutton converts a key third down for the Broncos, setting up what we had all been waiting for. Phillip Lindsay on his 14th carry, going well over 100 yards. It also just happened to be a 65-yard touchdown shrimp scamper as well. That is the third time this season Lindsay has had 14 carries and went over 100 yards. What would happen if he got 28 carries? Well, besides a second big bang creating an alternate universe inside of Phillip Lindsay's hair, the NFL would think he was cheating and would give him more PED piss tests than his little bladder could produce urine, which would cause major dehydration, which would end his career. At least that's probably the thinking behind Vance Joseph and Bill Musgrave's offensive game plans. The Bengals finally scored when, surprise, surprise, Bradley Roby botches some coverage, misses the tackle, followed by a missed tackle from Darian Stewart, so Cody Core, whoever the fuck that is, could score his first NFL touchdown. Now, I'm okay with the missed coverage, that's gonna happen sometimes, but watching Roby and Stewart flop on those tackles is embarrassing. I do think this security guard should be flagged for being used as a prop for this touchdown celebration. Does he smirk? Then technically he becomes a prop for the Bengals. It's that smirk. It's that smirk. Here's the weird thing about football, though. Emmanuel Sanders took the hardest hit of the game down that cursed right sideline for him, and he got back up after taking that hit. Chris Harris breaks his leg, and Derek Wolfe injures his ribs on plays that looked mundane. Sanders hit by a fucking freight train, rests for 6 seconds, pops back up, and is cleared by the blue REI tent. If I'm Emmanuel Sanders, I would put in my next contract that I will never, ever be asked to run a fly route down the right sideline. Ever. I'm not gonna do it if I'm Sanders. Von Miller does get a clutch sack late in the fourth quarter, backing Cincinnati into a 3rd and 15. This counted as a sack because Miller never touched Jeff Driskel's shoulder, or face if you're the refs. Not that I was worried about a loss at this point in the game, but if the Bengals were going to make me sweat like the Chargers or Steelers did, it would have been on that drive with the touchdown. Miller stops it. Phillip Lindsay finished the game with 157 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 Big Dick Player Award. Please let Phillip Lindsay know he won the illustrious award on Twitter at I_CU_boy. Lindsay needs a new Twitter handle. The only thing that could stop Phillip Lindsay today was himself, betrayed by his own legs here. That probably would have been at least a 10-yard gain. And I was thankful it didn't turn into another goddamn injury, as all other plays seemed to do in this game. Not only did Phillip Lindsay cross the 1,000-yard all-purpose mark on the season, becoming the 4th undrafted free agent to do so, but Courtland Sutton on this deep pass finally broke his 3-catch barrier that had haunted him all season. And to end the game, it was Bradley Chubb with the strip sack of Jeff Driskel and the fumble recovery as well, coming up big late in the game. Chubb is now 4.5 sacks away from tying Javon Curse for the rookie sack record. Now I need to clear something up with everyone here, okay? Because it's wrong. It's just wrong. All bearded people don't look the same. Every season I get multiple tweets assuming I look like any white dude with a beard. If you think that makes you a beardist. And I just wanted to let you know it's offensive to all of us bearded men. We are not all the same, god damn it. And never confuse me with a freaking Bengals fan. That's 3 wins in a row for the Broncos, 3 important wins in a row. Our postseason hopes are still alive at 6-6. Enjoy the win, Broncos country. Enjoy that tasty, tasty win. And my wife Jess uploaded a new video to her YouTube channel. Big thanks to everybody who went there and subscribed last week. I think she's doing the monkeys. I'm a believer. Broncos fans, we are believers now. Her channel's Just Plays, link in the description. Show her some love. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Brandon Perna during the games. If you want to follow me there, we do a podcast every week talking about the NFL and the Broncos every Thursday. iTunes, Podbean, my second channel, That's Good Podcasts. It's called That's Good Sports Podcast.